Welcome, amazing Dallas ID dual language teachers, to our quarterly content training number 3. So remember, this is for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade teachers.
All right, everybody. Buenas tardes.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us.
So let's move on to the next one. Okay, meet our fabulous team. My name is Tania Gonzalez. I will be presenting today this training along with my partner Virginia Huergo. I am the 3rd grade dual language ESL specialist, and Virginia is the 4th grade specialist. And we have, of course, Rocio Chavez. She's the 5th grade dual language specialist. She's not here with us today, but you have her contact information in case you need to ask her any questions. Okay. So Virginia already shared the link for the presentation. You can access the presentation in order to be able to see the links and access the links that we will provide for you in the slides. No, we won't have sign-in sheet today. It will be at the end of the presentation.
All righty.
Okay, we have our learning objectives for today. I am learning about how Q3 will positively impact my classroom focus on curriculum and instruction. Can somebody please unmute yourself and read success criteria number 1?
I can explain how engagement strategies support my instruction as I internalize the lesson.
Thank you. I didn't see who was that, but thank you so much for reading success criteria number 2. Can somebody please read the number 1?
I can navigate the resources for Q3 to support my instruction.
Thank you, Mr. Cantu. We will navigate the resources for Q3, and the part 2 will be exploring the resources or engagement strategies that we can use to support our instruction. Okay, so our agenda for today. First, we will go over the Q3 preview, the highlights for every grade level. We will explore the updates that we have for this Q3, including bridges, exit tickets. We will talk a little bit about that in a bit. Assessment updates, and then we will go over engagement strategies, resources, office hours, and at the end we will have the survey with the attendance. Okay, to begin with, we have our success criteria number 1. I can navigate the resources for Q3 to support my instruction. So first we have our IPC at a glance. This is the IPC. IPC, remember that it provides the weekly plan for the implementation of Amplify. Remember, you can access the lesson clarity document, clicking the I'm sorry, my computer is a little bit slow today, but by clicking the Bridging the Knowledge link or the engagement strategies, you can access the lesson clarity.
We're gonna look at something new that's called the Amplify Visuals. We're gonna look at our.
Also, remember that at the very bottom of the IPC, you will find the pacing guide and the SERs and the ECR links. But now we have a different link that looks like this. It looks green, and these will be the weekly formative assessments.
Pretty sure that most of us know what Curriculum Central is. It's basically our one-stop shop for everything that has to do.
Okay, new to the IPC, as I said, we have added the weekly formative assessments linked to All in Learning. For every lesson, you will find in All in Learning 2 options for exit tickets and an open-ended questions or a multiple choice auto-graded exit ticket. For these specific weekly formative assessments, these all will be auto-graded. So it will be for to have like a grade for your whole grade level, and you can use these scores for PLCs, and you will discuss this later with your admins.
First of all, where can we find all that information?
Okay, for 3rd grade dual language, what do we have for this Q3?
and you're gonna.
Unidades en español, we have Unidad 5, Rayos, Truenos y Centellas, la luz y el sonido. We will continue with this unit for lessons 10 to 17. And the genre is informative, el género es informativo. And then we will begin Unit 8, Unidad 8, Aprender de la Tierra, Regiones y Culturas de los Nativos Americanos.
All right.
The genre for this Unit 8 is ficción realista and informative. So lessons 1 to 11, a total of 13 lessons that will continue in quarter 4. So quarter 3 will cover 1 to 11 for Unit 8.
And inside of your curriculum central, when you go to Clever,
The units in English are Unit 7. We will continue astronomy, our solar system and beyond. El género es informativo, lessons 8 to 16. And quarter 3 begins with lesson 8. We will continue Unit 7 in quarter 3. So then we will begin Unit 9, Travelers from Other Lands, Early Explorations of North America. The genre is informative. The lessons are from 1 to 9 that will be in quarter 3, but it has a total of 14 lessons that will continue on quarter 4. For the ECRs, this quarter 3 will have an ECR in Unit 7 in week 5. This ECR will be the assessment. For Unit 7, students will only need to write. It is a writing informative project, and that will be the ECR for Unit 7. So the ECR will also be the assessment. The second ECR is in Unit 8, es en español, en la semana 6. And the third ECR will be about Unit 9 in week 8. The unit assessments for this quarter 3, the assessment for Unit 5 will be in week 4. Amplify suggests that you begin your assessment during lesson 14. When you do lesson 14, you will notice that during the reading block, Amplify suggests that you do the assessment, but it is lesson 14. And we have a total of 17 lessons in Unit 5. So what we will do is that we will begin the writing project, which is from lesson 14 to lesson 17. And then after you finish the writing project in lesson 17, you can now do the assessment for Unit 5. Okay, that's a little bit different than what Amplify suggests. Okay, so the unit assessment for Unit 7, we have Unit 7 assessment in week 5, which, like I said, will be the writing. It'll be the informative writing that you'll see. It won't be in online learning. It's just only a writing project.
Okay, so just so you know.
Okay, so now Virginia will talk about 4th grade dual language updates.
Good afternoon. Yes, for 4th grade, you are going to continue with Unit 6, Poesía, Palabras Maravillosas. Now take note that these are copyrighted materials, so I was unable to link them, but you will find those printed for your students in the Antología. That was the reader you used in Unit 1. Okay, so again, and in the IPC, I put a note in red, but today they told me they couldn't see that, but yes, it's there. So, and you will find the poems. I was unable to link them, and you will find them in the Antología, okay? So, as of the lessons, we'll continue with lesson 4 and go through lessons 14. Now, regarding because it's poetry, you will not have an extended writing project at the moment. Now, the writing will be specific, based on the specific skills that are taught with those specific poems. They will be practicing those. Then you will go into Unit 8 in Spanish, Energía, Pasado, Presente y Futuro. Lots of informational text. It's sort of like a research unit, which does not have an end of the unit assessment. We are starting with lessons 1 through 8, and they finish in quarter 4. Please, for this, make a note to ask for the books, because even though there are some articles, you will have the books in unit 8, which is La historia de los combustibles fósiles y el niño que domó el viento. That information is in the introduction. Regarding the units in English, you have unit 5, you will continue with Treasure Island and finish the last lessons, which are related to the writing project. And for unit 7, geology, these rocks you're standing on, mostly the genre is informational. You will be doing lessons 1 through 15 being the last lesson, an assessment. The culminating activity is research. They will be researching on a geological feature. Regarding the ECRs, on quarter 2, we did 2 in Spanish and 1 in English. This time, therefore, to balance the writing practice, we're doing 2 in English and 1 in Spanish. The first one is for unit 5 is in week 3, which is an argumentative piece, then which is regarding the poetry unit, I think, no, which is the Treasure Island one. Then you have unit 4, which is in week 6, informative, and unit 7 in week 9, which is also an informational one. And the unit assessments is unit 6, then in week 5. Unit 7, you will have an optional, okay? I put a pausing point in the middle of the week so that you can have the mid-unit assessment. And finally, for the unit assessment for unit 7 would be week 9. Now we're going to go to 5th grade. In 5th grade, then we will start with unit 5, poesía, collage de palabras, and also género literario y poesía, and the lessons are 7 through 12. And in unit 7, los nativos americanos y los Estados Unidos, genre, informational and literary, and you will have lessons 1 through 12, finishing in quarter 3. And for English units, again, remember, when we are dealing with poetry in 4th and 5th, look for your texts in the antología. Units in English. Introduction to Shakespeare, A Midsummer Night's Dream. You will continue with those lessons, the literary genre, with lessons 6 through 15. Which is a continuation from quarter 2. And unit 8, the chemical matters, detectives, dinosaurs, and discovery. The genre is information and literary. And you will be doing lessons 1 through 9. And the remaining lessons will continue in quarter 4.
Sorry for interrupting, but Antología is not in a digital version, right? In Amplify materials, because I cannot find it.
Correct. Antología is only in a printed version because those texts that are in Antología are copyrighted material that Amplify is not allowed to share as PDFs. They are in their site, and therefore we cannot make the PDFs for you all, right? As we usually do with the rest of the material which is not under copyright, because there are some of the texts are specifically developed for Amplify, so they so we can share those. Okay,
it was digital. I'm sorry, it was digital at the beginning of the year, and I download and now disappeared.
Yes, good point. It was digital at the beginning of the year because we asked as a district for permission, the special permission from Amplify to be able to post that, because we were unable to distribute the books in time. Therefore, and part of the reason was there was like Amplify was unable to give us all the books we needed. Under that argument, we were able to post it, okay? But since we all have the books, or the books should be in the warehouse, right? If you do not have it, please contact your textbook coordinator at your campus, okay? Because they are there.
Miss, Miss Huerga,
Sí.
Let me add one thing. You can find the digital book in the student portal. So if the students go through Clever, they go
Okay.
to library, they open Amplify, they go to library. I found today the digital book there. So you still can do screenshots or the students can read in their computers. So it's still there in the application in Amplify.
Okay, thank you for that information. Application, you said the application in Amplify?
Correct.
the
If you
student.
go through Clever, correct. If you go through Clever, you open Amplify, you open
Mhm.
Biblioteca, and
Yeah.
you have the books there. You have all the poems there in Antología.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, it's a matter of us not being able to show it to the whole district, okay? Because of that, those reasons. Okay, let's continue then. Okay, so the ECRs, yes, the bridges. So in the bridges, okay, we've been at the end of the unit, I don't know if you remember, you will find bridges located at the bottom of the IPC. So you should see un puente or bridge, the picture of a bridge as you see on a Friday there. And we sort of modify a little bit the bridge as we used to do it. So we will show you the new version in examples as in reading and as we did it for social studies. These are examples of what you could expect. So you will be having the first two slides, and the first one is going to be, as usual, the words in English and in Spanish, and the next slide is going to be an activity created for the kids to practice the words, right? In this case, so we have examples. Well, in reading, we had examples, and they needed to figure out if this was an anthology, a fragment. For social studies, we did the same thing. So if you notice, we start with the same chart. And then the second, in this case, we are classifying the sentences as true or false, okay? And then they need to correct the sentence. So they need to have mastered that vocabulary to show understanding of the words, synthesizing the concepts of the unit. Okay, next slide. Okay, so the quarter three assessment at a glance can be found in the blueprint document, which is whenever you have an assessment, right? Please note that all assessments will be on preview mode. We are receiving lots of questions regarding that. So at the beginning of the quarter till the week of the assessment is going to be always in preview mode. So your students will not have access to take it online. And this is because as teachers read it and they have concerns, we are receiving feedback and modifying them. So these assessments are only activated the week of the assessment as it is in the pacing guide, following the pacing guide, okay? So please take time to preview the assessments, and if you have any concerns, email us so that we can forward it to the assessment coordinator, okay? So the next success criteria, could someone read the next success criteria, please?
I can explain how engagement strategies support my instruction as I internalize the lessons.
Thank you. So let's go to engagement strategies. We know that they are tactics you use, right, to interact, connect, scaffold the learning, and they are important. And we know as bilingual teachers, when we study for the exams, right, we learned about creation and how these activities lowers the affective filter so that students can acquire the language, right? So that is why it's so important to make sure to lower that filter. So the engagement strategies increase students' attention and focus. They move students to think more critically, increase opportunities for student participation. The benefits, of course, is they collaborate, and through collaboration, they are practicing their BICS, right? The basic interpersonal communication skills, and their CALPS or cognitive academic language proficiency, which they need a lot of opportunities to to interact with each other and using the new vocabulary, since Amplify, as you have noticed, is highly content focused, right? With lots of vocabulary. So that's why we take a lot of time on developing or thinking about engagement.
So one of the
Tanya.
activities, no, not activities, but engagement strategies that you can use in your classroom is called TPR. This is just an example of an engagement strategy that you can use like very easily while you're introducing your vocabulary, that almost every day you have vocabulary words, and you can use this strategy for, especially for dual language teachers, that I think most of you have newcomers, and newcomer students could benefit from learning vocabulary with hand gestures, body movement, to better understand and memorize the meaning of the words. But also, of course, this strategy can definitely benefit all students. They can stand up, move their hands, and have fun learning vocabulary through total physical response. Here's an example of how it would look in the classroom.
Vamos a utilizar evidencia textual para apoyar una respuesta, evaluar detalles para determinar lo más importante. Vamos a mezclar sílabas.
Un anfibio es un animal que puede vivir en el agua y en la tierra. Quiero que ahora ustedes usen sus manos y yo voy a repetir el significado de la palabra anfibio. Un anfibio es un animal que puede vivir en el agua y en la ¿qué? Tierra. Muy bien. Siguiente palabra, las branquias. Repitan. Muy bien, las branquias.
You will notice that in your engagement strategies section in the lesson clarity, sometimes you will see these words like TPR or some ideas that we can include for you. And also we grab also the ideas that Amplify, or the strategies that Amplify suggests, and we put it there in the engagement strategies, estrategias para fomentar la participación. But also remember that at the bottom of your lesson clarity, you have this section that says recursos y estrategias adicionales. These links, one of these links are, well, some of these links are also strategies, like for example, the lead forward instructional strategies. There, if you access that PDF document, you will find like a lot of different strategies that you can include in different parts of your lesson. But today we'll focus again with elevation. So if you click on the elevation strategies link, it takes you to the document that has all the activities, like for example, the one that I'm showing that I can't see myself. Okay, here. You'll find all the activities, and today we will focus on find the fib. Okay, so this activity, you can use it while you're doing the read aloud, or students can use it independently while they read a text, and then they can share their answers with the whole class. So we will practice today, but first we will watch a video of how to implement it.
Entiendo yo mis cruz.
Okay, so I guess this would happen. Remember, when you want to play a video or log into Elevation, first you need to log in, and then you need to come back to the link. That happens all the time, right? You need to come back and then access the link again, like I did. So I'm gonna play the video.
Right here where it says she, right here, she realized that the volley that had always been.
Find the fib is an activity where students get 3 statements and they have to figure out which one is false. To prepare for this activity, I think about the content learning and I pick 3 statements or 3 ideas that they need to know about, and I'll make one false. We're gonna find the fib. There's only one fib in this group of sentences. We're gonna look for evidence that shows me whether or not the author thinks mountaintop removal mining is an excellent idea. You're reading your 3 sentences, you're finding your fib. The other 2 sentences are true, and you have to prove all of your sentences.
Oh, I found pollution right here. Pollution from the mountaintop is mining beacon people living in the towns below the mountains. Yes, right there.
How were you able to find your evidence? Lenny? Oh, you look for clue words. So can you give me an example?
Dangerous and pollution.
Oh, you knew that the words you were looking for was dangerous and pollution. That is such a smart idea. Now, sometimes we find the exact same word, and sometimes we find synonyms. A teacher can use this activity with any content area. It can be used as review or practice to see if the students can back up and support what they've learned. You can't just tell me it's true. You have to prove it to me.
Do you think it's true? I think it's true. And check.
This activity brings in all the language domains because students are reading the statements, they're discussing and listening to their partner's voice, and then they're writing their evidence. We know that when we go back and reread and look for text evidence, that makes us a better reader. To support my L's, I might fill in some of that evidence for them to get them started. Of course, they're still required to find the fib, but at least they have a starting point. I can also work in small groups to ensure that everybody is looking for evidence in the right places and on the right track. You should try Find the Fib in your classroom because it'll get your students talking and it'll ensure that they know what they're talking about because they have to prove it.
Okay, so actually for this activity, we're gonna find the fib, but we are going to find 2 lies. Instead of one, I've included 2 lies instead of one just because I had messed up a little, but we're gonna find 2 lies and we're gonna find 1 truth. So we're gonna do it. I'm gonna set a timer for 5 minutes. And as you can see here in your presentation, you have the read aloud. It is an example that it's for 3rd grade. It is included in Unit 7, Lesson 9, and it is about space exploration. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna open this link. I'm gonna set the timer and you're gonna try to read the read aloud or as fast as you can, because I think in 5 minutes you'll be able to finish reading. But then I'm gonna put 3 statements, and using the Zoom tools, you're gonna tell us if it is a true statement or a false statement, and then we can put the evidence in the chat. Okay, so I'm gonna set the timer, and you can open the link and start exploring or reading the read aloud to see what information you can find. Do you have any questions?
Could you please share the bit.ly for that presentation or the link, please?
Yes, of course. I'll put it in the chat.
I did it already.
Virginia just put the link for the presentation, but you mean the link for the document or the presentation?
Yes, for this activity, please.
For this activity. Okay. Yes, sure. I'll put it in the chat. Okay, so now let's set the timer. Okay, so time's up. Can you still hear me? Because I think I clicked a button. Okay. So the statement number one, after you had time to explore this read aloud, third grade read aloud, the statement number one that students would have to read and answer if it's true or false is Nicholas Copernicus was an American physician who was studying the moon. If you read the read aloud, imagine if you're giving this, reading the read aloud, maybe this time, if you're planning to do this activity with a read aloud, you can give the text to students. I mean, you're not going to do it every time, but you can give it to students, maybe for this activity so that they can follow your reading, and they can have these statements and be able to prove to write the evidence, right? Because if they don't have the text, it's a little bit hard for them to remember or to write the correct evidence, maybe remember it correctly. But if you give the text to them, maybe just for this activity, they can engage a little bit more and be able to find the evidence. So the statement number one says Nicholas Copernicus was an American physician who was studying the moon. Is it a truth or a lie? Using your Zoom tools, please stamp using the stamps or the chat. Like I see some answers, you can put the correct answer, and you can also write the evidence in the chat. So what is the sentence that has the correct evidence in the text? Yes, it's a fib. It's false, right? So I see there that the correct sentence that has the answer, Nicholas Copernicus was a Polish astronomer, not American physician, right? He was also a mathematician, and he was studying the night sky around the same time. Yes, thank you so much for your answers. So statement number two. And you can do this after the read aloud, or you can also be creative and do it like while you're reading, so that they can engage during the reading, and they can be answering like one by one and not everything at the end. So statement number two, Neil Armstrong became the first human being ever to walk on the moon. Is it true or false?
It is on the bottom of your IPCs. There's a link for that document that you can access from your IPC.
Yes, that is correct. True, it is true. And the evidence, I see here that the sentence that has the evidence, like straight from the text, is that it says that on July 20th of 1969, Neil Armstrong became the first human being ever to walk on the moon. So it is true.
And this is a picture of quarter two. So you're teaching quarter two right
And
now.
statement number three, Neil Armstrong was the only astronaut who walked on the moon on 1969. Is it true or false?
Okay, some are they created for knowledge, and they created for skills. If you compare their knowledge ones with our, our language supports, they're a bit different.
Yes, it is false. And the sentence, the evidence is that it says that soon after Armstrong said these famous words, Buzz Aldrin joined him to walk on the surface, where they bounced and hopped to get around because of the moon's low gravity. So he wasn't alone. He wasn't the only one. He was the first one, right? But he wasn't the only one. Buzz Aldrin joined him later. And the sentence that has the evidence already was provided. Thank you, Mr. Pineda. Miss Millie Lipper, thank you for your answers. Thank you, everyone. And now that we already practiced doing this activity, now we can, let me clean the
picture from quarter two, because right now, as of today, we still do not
okay.
have
So now we can explore. I'll give you 10 minutes, like it is the last thing we're gonna do, and then we'll go over some resources at the end. but I'm gonna give you 10 minutes to join your breakout room, your grade level breakout room. I'll open a 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 5th grade breakout room, and you'll join your specific grade level, and you're gonna collaborate with your grade level teachers, and you're gonna discuss where in the first week of instruction of quarter 3 can you incorporate this activity in your any lesson that you want, any lesson that you would like to incorporate this engagement strategy. And you're gonna go to your specific slide. For example, let me close this. For example, next slide has the 3rd grade information. 3rd grade slide, you're gonna put the unit that you're gonna use it, lesson, what lesson, and the page that has the lesson in which you can use this activity, or pages, maybe pages, and the title of text that you wanna use for this engagement strategy. So are there any questions before I set the timer? You can use the slide. I mean, you don't need to open any page. You can write it here. You can write the statement so that after we finish the presentation, everyone can have access to this slide and use it for instruction. Yes, are you ready? Remember, you will need to go to your IPC, go to the first week of instruction, and plan with your grade level teachers what lesson can you use to incorporate this activity. Okay, so I'm gonna set the timer now. And I am going to open the breakout rooms, and you're gonna join your grade level. So they're now open.
Por ejemplo, vamos a decir que son de prefijos de que sí está, que sí lo cubren. Y si no, trato de darles tiempo como día de pausas para poder cubrirlas.
In order to access the breakout room, look for the menu at the bottom, or I don't know if you have it at the top, and then look for the option that says breakout rooms, and then you will see them there.
Solo hubo una unidad de 5 para todo el quarter 3. Eso dice que ya en este quarter no estamos saltando lecciones.
You will see the breakout rooms.
Porque sí, esos tips se tienen
You
que
have
eliminar.
Zoom tools at the bottom or at the top. I don't know where you have them. I have them at the top, and where it says annotate, screen share, pause, chat, and then you have an option that says breakout rooms. You have to click there in order to access your grade level.
Unidad 5, y así no va a tener ese problema. Pero yo trato de fijar, de checar y de revisar que todo lo que sale en ese examen. Okay.
Maybe you have to click more. There's an option that says more and 3 dots. Maybe it's there, the option for breakout rooms. It depends on the size of your screen.
Un comentario, sí. Sí, y sí. Estoy de acuerdo. Trato de no poner en el examen, o sea, si va a salir un examen, sí trato, en veces sí pueden pasar, y no sé si estaba un disclaimer que usa esos días de pausa para ver si hay algo que no salió, pero yo trato de ver en esto, y sí, por eso ya hemos tomado eso en cuenta, por eso yo ya en la unidad, en la quarter 3, como le dije, ya no hay, o sea, solamente es una unidad en español y una en inglés. Sí. No, de nada. Sí. Sí, la comprendo. Yo también He hablado con mi supervisor.
Ms. Gonzalez, I had stepped away. Can you tell me what we're doing?
Van a ver que ya casi
Yes,
están
hi. You are going to explore the first week of instruction, any lesson that you would like to use for this and to incorporate this engagement strategy. And you're going to find a text, any text that you want to use, and find 3 statements. 2 are going to be true, and 1 is going to be the fib, the lie. And you can
se trata de un tema así de tricky
write
spelling,
the unit,
trato no
the
poner
text, the lesson, and so that everyone can see.
saber una
Okay.
scaffolding.
Thank you.
No problem.
Entonces trato de no saltar y por eso ya mi pensamiento es vamos a hacerlo todo, hacerlo bien en vez de saltar. Por eso están viendo
bueno, esperamos que esta actividad les haya servido para internalizar mejor las lecciones con las que estuvieron trabajando. ¿A alguien le gustaría comentar qué les pareció la actividad y cómo, y si piensa que puede ser efectiva?
En matemáticas lo hicimos por módulo.
I think they're coming back.
Va por módulo.
Oh,
It's giving them 43 seconds to come back or finish the activity. I
okay.
see that fourth grade teachers are still writing there in the slide, but we can give them like 20, 30 seconds to come back. And then we'll finish.
So we were a bit confused in third grade because none of us have editing access on the site. So we
Right.
don't know who could write.
Yeah, I'm so yeah, I know was my bad. I just gave you editing access. Like you had to refresh the slide deck in order to be able to write, or I don't know what happened, maybe because I gave editing access like to everyone, but maybe it wasn't updated or you had to refresh your slide deck. But you can talk about it. I mean, what do you think about the activity, or what lesson do you think it would fit better?
Okay, I see it.
Maybe
I got
what
it.
you discussed.
Recordemos el uso de la plataforma llamada Television. Television is
Okay, Virginia was asking,
Okay.
because I see fourth grade teachers there that did unit 6, lesson 4, and the text is El baile de la medusa. So maybe you didn't have enough time to find the 3 statements, but maybe you already have the text that you want to use, and you can find your statements later or work in the slide later. But this was just the objective of this practice was just for you to explore, and maybe when you are internalizing your lesson, you can think about this activity, that how can you include it, or maybe it fits in some of your lessons later in quarter 3.
Okay, so we have additional resources, and very quickly, I want to only stop in the PLC package. If you can show that slide.
Yes,
okay, thank you. So if you find that your students need help with
this one,
gathering the evidence for the ECR, okay, there's a PLC package here. You can go through Cornerstone and enroll and do it at your own pacing. So there's support in that. Okay, the rest, some of the activities, some of the additional resources you can explore on your own to value your time, because I know we are on point. So if you can go then to the surveys, this is the way you get your attendance. So if you could please complete 2 surveys, one for academic services, the RLA portion, and the other one for dual language. Let me put the links.
all this information is available for you in the slide deck so that you can check, go back and find it. So this is the first survey.
Okay. En esta actividad que se llama Encuentro de Mentirita, en inglés se llama Find the Fifth. Y lo que vamos a hacer es que los estudiantes van a leer un enunciado escrito por un maestro o por un compañero. Van a comentar con un compañero cada enunciado y van a identificar cuál de los 3 enunciados.
Could you please put the link in the chat?
Sure.
Yeah, I think that would be a little bit easy.
Hold on.
It's not,
not
there we
linked,
go.
right?
Yeah, because the first time I
okay,
tried to do it, it didn't read as a link. It just, I'm putting both links for both serve. Oh, yeah, there.
Okay, so the first link is for the dual language survey and attendance, and the second link is for
the academic services.
Academic services, this one.
Mm-hmm.
So you have there 2 slides.
Basically, academic services supports RLA, the reading language English Reading Language Arts.
Excuse me, if I
Department.
can ask you a question, part of the feedback survey, it says, what is the name of this event?
You can say QC3, QCT3.
It doesn't show as a name there. Can I write it?
Yes, you can write it down. Yes, just put
Okay.
QCT3. You can write it like that. Thank you.
This might be a silly question, but do I need to, I mean, I know I put there for my email to show up, but my married name is usually the one I use. Should I put one or both or what?
Oh, but you put your email.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. You
But
can
it
put
would? Okay,
any
good.
name. No, yeah. With your email is we just need your email and
Thank you.
yes, no problem.
And it's QCT3, correct?
QCT3, yes.
And you guys are Tania Gonzalez.
Tania
and
Gonzalez and Virginia Huergo. Thank you so much again for being here. We appreciate that you're here and
Any
we hope that this
questions?
presentation is helpful. And
Yes.
and also, yes, like Virginia is saying, if you have any questions, remember we have the parking lot. I think I saw some teachers that were asking and I wasn't able, since I was clicking on the presentation, I wasn't able to write the answers to your questions, but I'm gonna paste again the link for the parking lot. This parking lot, we are going to keep using it. So if you have questions, we can answer them tomorrow, or even tomorrow, if you think about something you want us to answer, you can access it later.
And remember, we always have office hours in case you have specific questions that you want to review with us, or the Amplify coach who participates in those too.
Oh, exactly.
And this information is included in the deck. There's a slide that has the info for the office hours, and there's a slide that has the information for on how to contact the Amplify coaches.
It's a Zoom, yeah, when they
Yes,
register
so when
there,
you
it's gonna be
register,
good.
yeah, okay. All right, and then next, go ahead and take time. You have a link in the chat to do the feedback for dual language. And then there is another survey that where you have to do for our team, our big department, the academic services feedback. But please be sure and do this very first one if you're pressed for time. I know we did, but we would appreciate if you took both of the surveys. Please contact us. I know you have our names there. I know especially with second grade, it can be a little tricky. We're trying to make it less tricky. And the campuses I have visited are doing very awesome. So please reach out. On our IPCs, we have the link for office. Yes, Gabby, go ahead. You can come off mute, Gabby.
The survey for the dual language, the first survey is just writing the name of the training, QCT3. And the second survey, the academic services survey, you can put other. There's an option that says other, and you can write the name of the training.
46, the very last two slides in your slide deck. And if you make your screen big, you can, if you expand your screen, you can see the QR code a little better. Because I just closed mine, I made it smaller, so it does block the QR. But on yours, you can make it big and you see it up. Yes, Ms. Cantu. Yes, Ms. Cantu, I can hear you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy your winter break. And we hope that you come back with all the tools that you need for Q3. And we'll be here like a few more minutes to answer questions or be here to support you in case you need help with the surveys. But if not, you can leave this session and we'll see you in the next QCT 4.